recording.
This is right, Arab.
Hello and welcome to WION Live broadcast. I'm Nina Maria Potts in Washington. Amid growing pro-choice protests across the United States, the gap between the country's two dominant political coalitions is widening as three Republican governors defy the party and indicate that they will protect abortion rights. A teenager sues tech giant Snapchat after allegedly being sexually abused on the app by a US Marine. The teen claims that the app failed to safeguard its users from child sex predators. The WHO calls a special session of the agency's Europe office, this after 43 members representing the European region of the WHO demand the closure of a specialized WHO office in Moscow. Hong Kong and mainland China stocks fall on inflation fears after the country's top leaders said they would stick with a dynamic zero-COVID policy, stoking worries of a further economic downturn. And Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich denies asking for his $1.8 billion loan to Chelsea to be repaid. He's calling the reports in the English media entirely false. Our top focus this hour is abortion, an issue that has divided America for decades. The recent Supreme Court memo leak has once again sparked the choice debate across the United States. Abortion in the United States is guided by the landmark Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. The 1973 case decided that access to abortion is a constitutional right. The 1992 ruling, Planned Parenthood v. Casey, further upheld it. It says that women can get an abortion until the fetus is viable. That's usually around 22 to 24 weeks. So what happens if the Roe v. Wade judgment is overturned? It will then fall on individual states to decide on the legality of abortion.
Sexual health and well-being for millions.
So if Roe v. Wade is in fact overturned, you'd have about half of U.S. states that are expected to quickly move to ban abortion. Of those, 13 states have what's called trigger laws, which are specifically written not to go into effect unless Roe is overturned. But if Roe was overturned, they would immediately be near total bans on abortion.
In Louisiana, specifically, a committee has proposed a bill allowing homicide charges to be brought against people who get abortions or perform them.
Out the need for implantation. Representative McCormick?
Yes. Both medical and scientific advances over several decades have provided us with a greater understanding of pregnancy and the stages of a fetus, making it clear the act of abortion ends the life of a human being. The taking of a life is murder, and it is illegal. Louisiana law currently fails to provide equal protection for human life. Persons are deemed unworthy of legal protection for no other reason that they are not yet born.
Senate Republicans for a long time have fought to end Roe versus Wade, but now with the victory they wanted in near sight, there appears to be a split in the red zone. Charlie Baker, the Republican Massachusetts governing, has publicly denounced the looming changes. He has called it a massive setback for women in states. Similar comments also came from Phil Scott. The Republican leader in Vermont has reaffirmed his support for the right to abortion. He says that the fundamental rights of all women will be defended, protected and preserved in Vermont. While New Hampshire's Chris Sununu promised to protect women's rights, saying healthcare services for women will remain safe and legal with him as governor. Ever since the possibility of making abortion illegal made headlines, protests are being held across the United States. Women from all walks of life have taken to the streets. They're calling for the right to their own bodies and to their own futures.
Thank you for being here.
It's all under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
Like she said, I'm a nurse practitioner at Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn.
In the house along with many other working people, right?
My first thoughts were, I just can't believe that we're even thinking about going back. It's going to be so horrific for women, and really hurt the lives of so many women. And I think it's absolutely atrocious. I just still can't wrap my head around it. It's probably very likely that it'll happen, but I really hope that it doesn't.
First of all, bottom line, a woman's body is a woman's body. This is my body. You don't know what goes on inside of it. You can't tell me what to do with it. Take your hands off of my body, please.
For more on this story, we're being joined by our correspondent, Susan Teherani from New York. Susan, good day to you. I wanted to ask you about these pro-choice Republicans and their comments. I mean, is that surprising? Does it speak to actually a very complex picture of a divided America on the issue of abortion?
Absolutely, and it really shows that how much politics should be taken out of such an issue like abortion, and this is what at least this draft opinion memo by Justice Alito was trying to do, because it becomes so complicated. And on the one hand, there is no doubt that this issue of abortion will take a premier spot in governorship races, in legislative races, in the midterms come this fall. And I think that one of the reasons that you see these Republican politicians in some of these blue states making these comments is because of that. But the question ultimately lies is because abortion has become so political. First of all, will it take that premier spot in the voters' mind and have that federal priority above inflation, above crime, above critical race theory 6 months down the line or not, and whether or not these Republican candidates who are walking on eggshells on this issue will have to then later on, when this issue is resolved, have to walk back this issue, because ultimately they flip-flopped because of a midterm where this issue is so hotly contested, as we saw in the case of Joe Biden. So I think this is one of the reasons why for years, for decades, politics should have been taken out of abortion. I think that's why this was the case, and now that it's in the forefront and this leak has happened, it's become so widely political, and this is where politicians are right now.
That was Susan Teherani. Thank you, reporting for us live from New York. There are still months to go before the U.S. top court announces its decision on the Roe versus Wade judgment. The results could turn out to be the complete opposite of what the leak said. It could also be the same. And amid this uncertainty, the focus has shifted to abortion pills, the next target for the anti-choice group. Abortion pills have gained popularity across the U.S. US in recent years. Figures suggest that more than half of abortions in America are done with pills, not surgery. The pills are easy to access. Right now, there are many ways to buy abortion pills. You can get them at drugstores, you can buy them online, depending on where you live.
My union brothers and sisters, thank you for being here.
It's on under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
For abortion seekers, cross-border trips, remote doctors' consultations, and packages of pills delivered in the mail offer hope they can skirt state restrictions. For anti-abortion activists and politicians, those cross-border trips and pill deliveries are what they will try to stop next.
But now, with a very real possibility of the overturning of Roe versus Wade, conservative states are focusing on the status of abortion pills. Republicans in certain states have already moved to restrict abortion pills. Some of the states include Texas, South Dakota, Kentucky, Ohio, amongst others. Many now believe that the limitations would lead to women seeking the pills from illegitimate vendors, which might adversely affect their health.
Republican lawmakers in states such as South Dakota, Texas, Kentucky, Arkansas, Ohio, Tennessee, and Oklahoma have moved to restrict access to abortion pills in recent months. A total of 19 states require a medical clinician to be physically present when abortion pills are given to a patient.
Experts now say that the number of women requesting prescriptions for abortion pills or information about their use have increased by almost 300% since the draft opinion was leaked. This as women seeking abortions are increasingly nervous about the potential loss of access to aid.
People understanding that this is going to affect them, especially if they live in these restricted states. So they're looking to access pills now. I had someone reach out who had a tubal ligation who wanted to get pills just in case her tubal ligation failed. Like, people are very, very worried.
Israeli police have launched a massive lookout operation for 2 Palestinians suspected of killing 3 people in an attack in a central Israeli city. The attack took place on Thursday when Israel was celebrating its 74th Independence Day. The incident is the latest in a recent upsurge of Israeli-Palestinian violence that has raised fears over a wider conflict.
An apparent attack with what witnesses say were axes or knives left 3 people dead in the central Israeli city of Elad on Thursday, the country's Independence Day. Police suspect it was a Palestinian attack. Witnesses and emergency responders reported that 2 attackers, armed with knives, axes or both, targeted passers-by in a park. Witness Haim Davida described the scene.
My son, who was outside the building, entered inside and started shouting, "Terrorists are outside." We went out and we saw them attacking people. What happened? I ran to the man who had an injury in his head. I did first aid and I stopped the bleeding. The people who were here ran after the terrorists, wishing to catch them.
Police set up roadblocks to try to catch the assailants who fled the scene about 9 miles from Tel Aviv. Ariel Cohen, a police investigator from nearby Rosh Hain, said the search for the assailant is ongoing.
We're talking about several crime scenes in the city of Elad. Right now, we are searching for the terrorist. We do not have full indication if it's one terrorist or more. We are conducting a chase after him. We have a helicopter with us, and we are setting roadblocks in order to catch him.
Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid responded on Twitter saying, quote, "The joy of Independence Day was cut short in an instant." Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas condemned the attack. There have been a series of Arab attacks in recent weeks, mostly targeting civilians. Before Elad, Palestinians and members of Israel's Arab minority had killed 15 people in Israel and the West Bank. Earlier on Thursday, confrontations again broke out between Palestinians and Israeli police at Al-Aqsa Mosque, a site in Jerusalem's Old City that is important in both Islam and Judaism. Jewish visitors were allowed into the area on Thursday after their entrance to the site had been suspended for the last 10 days of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Hamas, the Islamist Palestinian group that controls Gaza, praised the attack but did not claim responsibility. It also said that the Elad attack was a response to Israeli actions at the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
According to a recent report, the US Federal Trade Commission is reviewing the Tesla chief executive Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover of the social media giant Twitter. The report, published by Bloomberg News, says that the US trade watchdog will decide whether it will do an in-depth antitrust probe of the proposed transaction. Now, if the probe goes underway or gets underway, it'll delay the closing of the Twitter deal by months. The FTC has declined to comment on the reported development. Speaking on the possible review, antitrust experts say that there is little likelihood that the agency will find any evidence of Musk's purchase of Twitter being illegal under antitrust law. The FTC is already investigating Musk's initial purchase of a 9% stake in Twitter. It's probing whether he complied with an antitrust reporting requirement when he acquired the shares in early April. The Twitter-Musk deal has left America and the rest of the world divided. Critics of the deal say that it should be stopped in order to avoid giving an already powerful man, I quote, direct control over one of the world's most important platforms for public communications and debate. End quote. The Twitter-Musk deal, however, has the support of Republicans. They hope conservatives banned from the site, like former President Donald Trump, will be allowed to return. Snapchat is a platform universally used in everyday life. It has 300 million active users and has a reputation as a safe space for young people. But a 16-year-old's lawsuit filed in the United States is highlighting perhaps the darker side of an app that for years has flown under the radar of the law. The lawsuit filed on Monday accused Snapchat of failing to design a platform that could protect the users from harm. This is what happened. A girl, then 12 years old, was allegedly sexually exploited by an active duty Marine for 3 years. The Marine was convicted last year of charges related to child pornography in a military court. A criminal investigation found that he had saved the victim's Snapchat photos and videos and shared them on the web. The lawsuit raises difficult questions about privacy and safety of minors using these apps and argues that the systems already in place to fight such cases are not only flawed, but also outdated. The lawsuit also alleges that Snapchat has a reactive approach. The burden is placed on the child to voluntarily come forward and report their own abuse before the company reacts. It doesn't help that Snapchat's own safeguards are fairly limited. Users must be 13 or older, but the app, like many other platforms, does not use an age verification system, providing a very flimsy barrier for children smart enough to type a fake birthday. While Snapchat said it works to identify and delete accounts of users younger than 13, the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act bans companies from tracking or targeting users under that age. Also named in the lawsuit are Apple and Google because of their role in hosting the app. It was used by the perpetrators to distribute the victims' images. Both companies have now removed the app from their platform. The case also highlights how US lawmakers in Washington have failed to regulate these tech giants who have so far been left to police themselves.
Famous.
Aquaman actor Amber Heard broke down on the witness stand on Thursday. She accused her ex-husband Johnny Depp of sexually assaulting her with a liquor bottle and threatening to kill her shortly after the two got married. Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard for $50 million and got countersued for $100 million. More details in our next report.
I don't want to do this.
Actress Amber Heard broke down in tears on the witness stand Thursday as she told a jury that ex-husband Johnny Depp sexually assaulted her with a liquor bottle and threatened to kill her about a month after their wedding.
But I couldn't get up.
Testifying in a widely watched defamation trial, Heard said she visited Depp in Australia in early 2015 when he was filming the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and shared with the jury disturbing details of their first evening together in what she said was an argument that turned violent.
He shoves me up against the fridge. He has me by the throat.
Depp was belligerent, according to Heard, and threw bottles that broke all around her.
But at some point, he had a broken bottle up against my face, neck area by my jawline, and he told me he'd carve up my face.
Then, according to Heard, Depp took one of the bottles and pushed it inside her.
I felt this pressure. On my pubic bone. And I remember that it's just not wanting to move because I didn't know if it was broken. I didn't know if the bottle that he had inside me was broken.
Do you recall what Mr. Depp was saying to you when he had the bottle and was pushing it against your pubic bone?
He said, kill me. I'll kill you.
In earlier testimony, Depp offered a different account of the incident in Australia.
She threw the large bottle and it made contact.
Saying Heard was the person who hurled objects during their arguments, hitting him with a vodka bottle that severed the top of his right middle finger. Depp also testified that he never hit Heard and that she was the abuser.
She kicked the bathroom door into my head.
On Thursday, Heard described to the jury a tumultuous relationship of both love and violence.
It was awful and toxic, but it was so important to me, and I loved him so much.
Depp is suing his ex-wife for $50 million, saying she defamed him when she claimed she was the victim of domestic abuse. Heard has countersued for $100 million, arguing Depp smeared her by calling her a liar.
That's all we have time for on this edition of WION Live broadcast. We leave you with emotional visuals of White House Secretary Jen Psaki introducing her successor at the daily press briefing.
Hi, everyone. Been a bit of an exciting day around here. So before I get to the briefing, I just want to start by, I'm going to cry. Okay. Whew. I want to talk about my friend Karine. You've got to come up here. So I just want to take the opportunity to celebrate and congratulate my friend, my colleague, my partner in truth, Karine Jean-Pierre, the next White House press secretary.
I understand how important it is for so many people out there, so many different communities that I stand on their shoulders, and I have been throughout my career. And so it is an honor and a privilege to be behind this podium in about a week or so when Jen is ready. And that is something that I will honor and do my best to represent this president and this first lady the best that I can, but also the American people. And so it is, it's a very emotional day.
This is right, Arab.